Alright, to start off with, we need to know a few things about algebraic expressions. Firstly, how to name them. This first expression here we call a cubic expression because the highest power in the expression is the power of 3. The second expression, b, we call a quadratic expression because its highest power is to 2. And finally, c, we call a linear expression because the highest power is to 1. And again, mathematicians being lazy, we won't write the 1, it's just x. So we have a cubic, quadratic, and linear. When it comes to adding or subtracting algebra, we need to only add and subtract the like terms. In this first expression, the only like terms are 3d and minus d, because they are the only two that look exactly the same. 3d minus d is 2d, and now we just write out the rest, plus 8d squared minus 3. In the second example, we look for our like terms, 7xy squared plus 8xy squared. It's important that the operation that's directly before the number gets included as well. 7 plus 8 is 15 xy squared plus 7x squared y. We just write the rest. When it comes to multiplying algebra, we need to add the powers. When you multiply, you add powers. Having a look at this one, we have a fraction, so we multiply top with top and bottom with bottom. 9y squared times 2y, well, that's 18. Y squared times y, so 2 plus 1 is 3, so y to the power of 3, over 4, there's no x, so we just write x, and z times z, so 1 plus 1 is z squared. If we have a look at this example, when we have multiple multiplications, just do it term by term. 3 12s are 36, x times x, so 1 plus 1 is x squared, then we just write the y. 36x squared y times 2xy squared, 36 times 2 is 72, x squared times x, 2 plus 1 is x cubed, y times y squared, 1 plus 2 is y cubed. When we divide algebra, we minus our powers. First step, write it as a fraction. After it's written as a fraction, your first step is to simplify the numbers. On your calculator, write 18 over 45 and your answer will be 2 over 5. Now we subtract our powers. 2 minus 1 is just 1, and the 1 is left with at the bottom because that's where the highest power is. So we have 1. So we cross that, cross that. Again, we have 2 minus 1, which will give us just 1p, and since the highest power was on top, p remains on top. So we have 2p over 5m. In the second example, again, write it as a fraction. On your calculator, simplify the numbers. 8 over 16 is 1 over 2. W5 divided W and W5, well, 5 minus 1 is 4. The highest power is on the bottom, so the W goes back on the bottom with the 4. Again, y squared and y. 2 minus 1 is 1. The highest power is on the bottom, so y stays on the bottom. So we have 1 over 2w4y. Expanding brackets. To expand a bracket, we multiply everything inside the bracket by the number directly at the front, or sometimes it can be written at the rear. So we have 3 times a, which is 3a, and 3 times 2y, which is 6y. When we have to expand our bracket by simplifying the squared, we need to square everything inside the bracket. Minus 2 squared, well, minus 2 times minus 2 is 4. R squared, so r times r is r squared. T squared, so squared, so t squared times t squared equals t to the power of 4. Finally, with this example, we need to expand both brackets before we can simplify. Multiplying out, we have 3a plus 3c squared plus 2 squared is 4, c squared is c squared. The like terms are there, so we have 3a plus 7c squared.